Hey gorgeous, welcome to my channel, SoilandMagaritas. My garden is located in central Indiana in Zone 5. And if you're new here, welcome. If you are coming back, hey, it's so good to see you. It has been crazy cold here in central Indiana. And I gotta take advantage of these 2 days that are coming up, today and tomorrow. In the mid 50s to finish planting my tulip bulbs and to also somewhat finish this flower bed. This is my stepping stone flower bed that I call it. It's on the east side of the house. So it gets morning sun, a little bit of afternoon, and until like 12 or 1, then it's on full shade. It wasn't doing it for me anymore. I know that in the past couple of years I have shown you the plants that have been here, and they're amazing, don't get me wrong. The plants have done well, but they were just not making me happy. They didn't have that wow factor, you know what I mean? So in the last few weeks I have been digging out plants, giving them away, moving other things around, playing with the positions. I moved my bird bath that I had here, which was so heavy to move. I don't think that I quite love it there. It's a little bit raised, but I don't know how I love it, but I'm gonna leave it there for 1 season and see how it does, because at some point this spot right here with the hardy hibiscus is just going to be so full. So we'll see how that does. I'm willing to try it for a year and see how it does for me. And I decided to add another set of corten steel planters, the ones that I have on the west side that I show you with all my heucheras, and I think that's going to be great. And I wanted to make this video sort of like just showing you what I was doing without talking, but I figured that I will just kind of explain a little bit what was going on, so you will have an idea what I'm doing today. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's like super early in the morning. It's like 42 right now. So it is cool for me. This is definitely not going outside at all temperatures for me. Mexico is playing today. Yay, World Cup. I don't know how soft the ground is, but the temperatures that we have been getting, like in the 20s, the ground is probably really hard. I don't know how soft it's going to be. The plants that I have for putting in this bed are just going to have to wait until spring probably if I can't dig anything. I already did a lot of cleanup as far as perennials and other things, but even though I don't have any trees, my neighbor's trees take care of covering the flower beds with leaves. I am not even going to clean that up. It's just a nice mulch for the flower beds, and that's fine. I do have some things that I'll probably dig next spring. Honestly, it's just too cold right now for me. I do have to get, my priorities are getting the tulip bulbs and the beds, the corten steel beds outside ready to be, because the corten steel beds are going to get that rust color naturally throughout the weeks when they get exposed to the weather and all of that. So I wanna leave those out, and obviously the tulips need the cool months outside. So I am going to do that today, and then I'll be done with this bed because it's too cold. The stuff in grow bags is probably the easiest to move around because, well, the fabric bags don't really weigh anything, and as long as the soil inside is dry, then I can easily move them around places. And I had kale growing here, and this soil, I mean, this soil is beautiful. This potting mix is beautiful, and yes, it does lack nutrients, but these beds are going to be used for flowers next year, and I am going to be adding fertilizer to the annuals that I'll be growing in there. But this soil is just beautiful, and I cannot just throw it away. So I am going to be going to either Home Depot or Lowe's to get a few bags of potting mix because I do want to get some tulip bulbs here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully next year I can get some blooms in the spring. But I don't have any good soil, so I'll probably get about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 bags so that I can just prepare these and have a bunch of bulbs that I gotta get for the ground here for this flower bed, but also for these containers that I gotta show you in a minute. Okay, it's getting a little bit later in the day and I'm losing light and it's starting to feel a little bit cooler. But I got the potting mix at Home Depot. I got them, I got the beds or the planters right about here with fresh potting mix, and I found these gorgeous tulips at Tractor Supply. I found them last year at the end of December for like $1 a bag, and I have been keeping an eye on them this year, but I only got them at 50% off, and I'm still gonna check later in the year to see if I can get a few more. But these type are absolutely gorgeous, and these are the types that I had last year in one of my raised beds in my vegetable garden, and they did amazing, and they are all a nice shade of pink, which I absolutely love. If you know me, you'll know that I love pink. So I am going to get about 60 tulips in each container. Now it may not seem like a lot, and I'm actually debating whether to go grab a couple of bags for each, but I really want to keep them inside, very center inside the planters, because I don't want the bulbs to freeze. Last year in a couple of my planters that I planted last fall, they got frozen, they got soggy, they rotted, so I don't want that to happen here, especially with this metal container. So I want to keep them inside towards the center of the planters. So I'm only planting 60 tulips here, which honestly, if 50 of them bloom next spring, they're just going to look amazing. So I am going to add a little bit of bone meal. Some of you have been asking about what kind of bone meal, what kind of fertilizer I use for my tulips, and the answer is just bone meal, whatever company I can find locally, whatever deal I can get locally, that's what I get. And yes, I know that critters are attracted to bone meal, but I try to really just put this at the bottom before I put the bulbs, and then I try to cover it with potting mix, so hopefully that sort of hides the smell. I mean, I don't know if that even helps, but I don't really have a lot of problems. I think maybe I had a squirrel last year that maybe ate one of my tulips, but that's it. I don't really have any problems with that. So I am going to put a layer of bone meal. I'm going to put all of my tulips here, and then I'm going to top them with a couple of bags of potting mix, fresh potting mix, and then I'll be done for today because it's getting cold. It's the next day and I have quite a few tulips to plant in the ground in this flower bed. I have 300 design impression tulips from Dutch grown that I need to spread around each side of this bed. And also I have about I think about 13 allium globe masters. I am super excited for these alliums for next year because I have had the smaller, the sensational, something like that, in the past few years, and I love those. They're one of my favorite things in the garden. But these guys are like almost twice the size of those. So I'm excited to give you an update next spring on this. And yeah, I'm just going to spray them around. I am not really going to be moving anything else. I might actually pop a perennial or two here. Still deciding where those are gonna go, but I gotta get these guys in the ground. I am done planting all of these tulips in this side of the house. I made a bunch of holes for all of the tulips. I do not make single holes for each tulip. That will take me a while, but I spread them around here on each side of this bed, and I also ended up adding more alliums to this side of the house because I had a few extra bowls that I had plans to do on another side, but I ended up just adding them here. I think they're going to look way better than on the other side. And what I'm about to do now is just cover everything with the soil, do a little bit of a cleanup, and hopefully I can show you next spring the beautiful display that all of these tulips will give me. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope that you and your loved ones have a great time celebrating. Thank you for being here, you guys, and until the next time.